Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. with a feeling of endless emptiness? Your children are busy with their own lives. Friends your age have slowly passed away. And you wonder, what am I living these final years for? Does it feel like you're adrift in an ocean of loneliness with no shore in sight? The question arises, is living alone at this age too hopeless? Today I will share with you 5 simple things that anyone can do to turn loneliness into strength, based on the wisdom of sages and the experience of those who have gone before us. These are not empty theories, but concrete steps you can take starting tomorrow. But first, let me tell you about the first thing most of us get wrong when living alone. When no one needs your presence anymore, do you feel lost? Waking up not knowing what to do, feeling like every day is the same as an endless blank page. Time just drifts by meaninglessly, living by emotion instead of by plan. This is not your fault. Throughout our lives, we've been accustomed to schedules set and created by others. Before it was work, children, family responsibilities. Now, when all that is gone, our brains feel disoriented. No schedule means no goal, and no goal means no meaning in life. Stoicism taught an important principle. External order creates internal order. When life outside has structure, the soul within will be at peace. This isn't about forcing yourself into a rigid framework, but about creating a framework for a more meaningful life. Let me tell you about 2 women I know, Dorothy, 76, and Kenneth, 78. Both were widowed, their children living far away, but their ways of life were completely different. Dorothy, after her husband passed, woke up whenever she pleased, ate whenever she was hungry, and watched TV all day. She said, "I'm finally free. No one tells me what to do." But 6 months later, Dorothy called me crying. "I feel like I'm drifting in my own life. Every day passes, and I don't remember what I've done." Kenneth was different. He created a schedule like a sacred ritual. Woke up at 6 a.m., meditated for 10 minutes to awaken his soul. At 6:15, he made coffee and read the newspaper, not to kill time but to connect with the world. At 7 a.m., he walked for 30 minutes, not listening to music, just listening to the birds sing and reflecting. At 8 a.m., he read for an hour. At 10 a.m., he cooked lunch carefully, like an artist creating a masterpiece. Kenneth said, "Every day I have 6 things to look forward to. I don't just live through the day, I live each moment." After 2 years, Dorothy became depressed and had to take medication. Kenneth was healthy, full of energy like a 60-year-old. If you continue to live without structure, life will become a meaningless chain of days waiting for death. A brain not stimulated will decline faster. You will lose the feeling of being alive, replaced only by existing. But the solution is simpler than you think. Step 1. Write down 5 fixed things to do each day. Wake up, eat breakfast, do light exercise, learn something, and relax consciously. Step 2. Set specific times for each activity. It doesn't need to be complicated, just consistent. Step 3. Treat each activity as a sacred appointment with yourself, as important as a doctor's appointment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Live as if today were your last, but plan as if you will live forever." That is the balance between cherishing the present and creating meaning for the future. The second thing many people get wrong when living alone is losing someone or something to care for. Do you feel useless? As if no one needs you anymore? As if your life has no more value? I understand the feeling when your life no longer affects anyone or anything. As if you are just an observer instead of participant. The pain of realizing no one needs your care anymore. It's the pain of a mother whose children no longer need to be lulled to sleep, of a father whose children no longer ask for help with homework. But here's the truth. Humans are born to nurture, to care. It's a basic instinct, deeper even than survival instinct. When we lose the object of our care, we lose a part of our meaning in life. Confucius taught, "The superior man nurtures all things as he nurtures himself." He wasn't talking about caring for children, but about caring for all life around us. Let me tell you about two different women. Alice, 82, after her children moved out, sat in an empty house, feeling no one needed her. "I was used to having someone to care for," she told me. "Now I don't know what to do with this love. It's like a river with no outlet." Alice spent her days cleaning an already clean house, cooking meals for one that she had no appetite to eat. She felt like a machine with no function, a vase with no water to fill. Martha, 84, took a completely different approach. Realizing she was lonely, she decided not to let the love in her heart wither. She started a small herb garden on her balcony, naming each plant and talking to them every morning. She adopted 3 stray cats in the neighborhood and cared for the greenery of elderly neighbors who couldn't do it themselves. "Every morning I wake up, I have 20 living things waiting for my care," Martha shared. "The basil needs water, Mimi the cat needs a medicine, Mrs. Jones's roses need pruning. I'm not just living for myself anymore." 2 years later, Alice was on antidepressants. Martha was healthy, vibrant, and loved by the whole neighborhood. If you continue to live without anything to nurture, the most natural human instinct will wither. Loss of the nurturing instinct leads to deep depression. The feeling of uselessness diminishes the will to live. A brain without purpose will degenerate faster. But the solution can start today. Immediately, buy a small plant, name it, and talk to it every day. This week, research suitable pets, a cat, a small dog, or even just birds. This month, volunteer to care for children, the elderly, or animals at local organizations. Gandhi once taught, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." When you care for something, you not only help it live, but you also help yourself live again. If what you just heard resonates with your experience, please pause for a few seconds and comment with the number 1. If it hasn't touched on what you need, don't hesitate to comment too, so I can listen and improve in future videos. Your feedback is a valuable source of motivation for us to create more profound content day by day. And now, I invite you to continue with the next mistake. The third thing many people do wrong is seeking friends out of loneliness without a clear purpose. Do you feel this way? Joining any group just to have someone to talk to? And feeling desperate when no one wants to be your friend? I understand a longing to have someone, keener, beside, Farsi for beside, to talk to ease the loneliness, to the point where you're willing to accept any relationship, even if it's not truly suitable. There are 3 types of friendship: friendship for utility, friendship for pleasure, and friendship for virtue. Only the last type endures. Margaret, 75, after her husband passed, joined 5 different groups just because she was lonely. A book club, though she didn't like reading. A dance group, though she didn't like dancing. A cooking group, though she hated being in the kitchen. A bridge club, though she didn't understand the rules. A yoga group, though she had joint problems. I felt tired of pretending to be someone I wasn't, Margaret confided. Each meeting was like a play I had to act in. I came home even lonelier because I felt no one really knew me. Robert, 79, chose a different path. He had always been passionate about history, especially the American Civil War. Instead of joining everything, he only joined the local history club. There, he met people who shared his passion, who could debate for hours about a battle that happened 150 years ago. From joining the club, Robert became a storyteller for children at the library, sharing historical tales in a vivid and interesting way. I have 3 real friends and 50 children who see me as a grandfather, he said. Quality is more important than quantity. If you continue to seek friends just out of loneliness, you will create superficial relationships that make you feel even lonelier. You waste time and energy on things that lack meaning. Most importantly, you lose the opportunity to find genuine friendship. The solution is simple. Step 1. List 3 things you are truly passionate about, no matter how small or outdated they may seem. Step 2. Find community centered around those passions, either online or offline. Step 3. Share your skills or knowledge with others. Stoic principles teach us. Seek those who share your values, not those who share your circumstances. When you connect through passion, you not only find friends, but you also find yourself again. The 4th thing is to stop learning. Do you feel too old to learn new things? Believe that your brain can no longer absorb knowledge? Live entirely based on old experiences? I understand the feeling that the world is moving too fast and you can't keep up, as if you become a relic of the past. The fear of being ridiculed when trying to learn new things at this age makes you isolate yourself even more. But science has proven that the brain has the ability to create new connections throughout life, called neuroplasticity. Learning stimulates the brain, preventing cognitive decline more effectively than any medication. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, wrote, "We should learn something every day until our last breath." Frank, 80, represents many of his peers. "I already know what I need to know," he told his daughter when she advised him to learn how to use a computer. Learn for what? I've lived 80 years without Google. Frank spent his time watching TV, complaining that the world was changing too fast, feeling left behind. 2 years later, his memory had noticeably declined. He forgot his grandson's name, forgot the way home from the supermarket. The doctor said it was normal aging, but his family knew his brain had retired long ago. Helen, 84, had a completely different story. When her granddaughter gave her an old piano, everyone thought it was just for decoration, but Helen decided to learn to play. "I've never touched a musical instrument," she said, "but maybe now is the right time." She started with free online lessons, her fingers trembling on the keys. For 30 minutes each day, Helen practiced like a child just starting out. After 6 months, she could play Amazing Grace. A year later, she played for her granddaughter on her birthday. But Helen didn't stop there. She started a blog about her family's heirloom recipes, learned Photoshop to edit old photos. "My brain feels like it's been rebooted," she shared. "I feel 20 years younger. Every day there's something new to discover." At the end of that year, while Frank was on memory medication and needed a caregiver, Helen was still living independently, her mind sharp, even teaching piano to the neighbor's child. If you stop learning, you stop living mentally. A brain that is not challenged will degenerate quickly. You'll become a fossil in the modern world, feeling lost and left behind. But you can start today. This week, choose one simple skill like using a new app on your phone or learning how to make a video call. This month, sign up for one free online course about something you've always been curious about. This quarter, learn one completely new skill, a musical instrument, a language, or craft. Confucius taught, "Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous." At this age, you have both the experience to think and the time to learn. It's a perfect combination. The final thing that many people overlook is creating a spiritual legacy. Are you worried that your life will be forgotten? Feel that your valuable experiences will die with you? Don't know how to pass on your wisdom to the next generation? I understand that pain. Have you ever lain awake thinking, "I've lived 70, 80 years with so many valuable lessons, but who will know them when I'm gone?" This isn't just a personal fear. It's about the meaning of life. Humans need a sense of immortality through a spiritual legacy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We live not for the present, but for what we leave behind." George, 77, kept all his experiences to himself. No one cares about old stories. he said when his children asked about his youth. Today's generation only likes technology. George carried with him stories of wartime, how he met his wife, and valuable business lessons. When he passed away, his family realized they knew almost nothing about his life. The best cake recipes were lost. Touching stories about his great-grandparents had faded into oblivion. Dad was like a book we never got to read, his daughter said at the funeral. William, 88, chose a different path. After his wife passed, he realized he held a priceless treasure, stories, wisdom, life lessons. He began writing letters to his unborn grandchildren, sharing what he wanted them to know about life. He recorded his wife's apple pie recipe along with the story of the first time she baked it for him. He recounted family history through videos, from his great-grandparents to the present. He wrote about the mistakes he had made and the lessons he learned. "I'm building a bridge connecting the past with the future," William shared. "I may not live forever, but what I've learned will live on in my descendants." When William passed away at 91, his family had a wealth of wisdom to cherish and pass on. If you don't share your wisdom, you are wasting your life. The next generation will lose valuable lessons that only experience can teach. Most importantly, you yourself will feel that your life lacks meaning, as if you were just a passerby leaving no trace. But you can start today. Today, write down one most important lesson you learned in life. This week, record one family recipe along with the story behind it. This month, start writing or recording memoirs for your children and grandchildren, even if it's just 15 minutes a day. Maya Angelou once said, "When you know better, you do better, and you teach others to do better. That is the greatest legacy you can leave." Please tell me, which of these 5 things makes you feel most apprehensive to implement? After hearing these things, do you still feel that loneliness is as daunting as before? Are you beginning to see that living alone can be the ultimate gift life offers you, rather than a punishment? I hope you understand that loneliness and solitude are 2 completely different things. Loneliness is the absence of connection, the pain of feeling isolated. Solitude is being fully present with oneself, an opportunity to explore the deepest aspects of your being. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, taught, "No one can harm you without your consent." Loneliness can only harm you if you allow it to define you. But when you choose how to perceive it, loneliness can become your greatest teacher. Lao Tzu wrote, "He who knows he has enough is rich. He who is self-reliant is strong." You are enough. You are strong. You just need to realize it. Old age is not the waiting room for death. It can be the freest, most authentic time of your life. For the first time in your life, you don't need to live up to anyone else's expectations. Don't try to do all 5 things at once. That's a surefire way to fail. Choose the one easiest thing for you and start tomorrow. Maybe it's creating a simple morning schedule. Maybe it's buying a small plant to care for. Maybe it's writing down a story from the past. Remember, the goal is not to never feel lonely. Loneliness is a natural part of life, especially at this age. The goal is to turn loneliness into freedom, absence into presence, pain into wisdom. You are not alone in feeling lonely. Millions of people around the world are experiencing the same thing. But you can choose to turn loneliness into freedom. You can choose to see this as the last chance to truly live for yourself. Every day alone is a day to discover the extraordinary person you have always been, but perhaps never had the time to realize. For decades, you lived for work, for family, for society. Now, for the first time, you can live for yourself. Seneca wrote, "Solitude is the school of genius." You have 60, 70, 80 years of life experience. This is the time to become the genius of your own life. This is the time to write the most beautiful final chapter of your story. May Sarton said, "Loneliness is the richness of self. Solitude is poverty with others." When you learn to cherish time alone, You'll discover inner treasures you never knew existed. Now, I want to hear from you. Comment and let me know which of these 5 things will you start with. It could be just one word: structure or care or learn. Your sharing can inspire others who are reading. If you are living alone and this video has helped you see loneliness in a new light, please share your story. What has helped you get through the toughest days? What makes you happiest when living alone? Your story could be a guiding light for someone lost in the dark. Please like if you believe that old age can be the most beautiful time of life, when we can finally live fully as ourselves. Subscribe to continue this journey of discovering the power of old age with me. Click the bell so you don't miss messages about how to live fully at every stage of life. Remember, you don't need anyone else to complete your life. You were complete from the start. Now is just the time to discover that. Loneliness is not the end of the story. It can be the beginning of the most beautiful chapter.